But yeah.
Okay, so thank you all for joining. Let me just remind you that we are recording this meeting, and by that I mean recording at audio only. So even though you see me, I'm enabling my camera, but it won't be recorded. I promise everyone of that. So thank you very much for joining. This is the first meeting for Quantum Casually Speaking, supposedly a new hub for students, hobbyists, researchers networking with each other. Supposedly we will take place every week, and this is our introductory orientation one. I do really apologize as we had a huge conflict and a huge gap in time zones. Not every time was suitable for everyone, but we will catch up with another meeting. Hopefully others will be able to join us. Okay, so how it all started, or why did we initiated this networking hub? Well, basically, I was greatly inspired, or we all were greatly inspired by how important it is to be around a supportive community of your work, to be around of good friends who can advise you, who can guide you, and tell you the right pathway to tackle in. And unfortunately, in post-pandemic world, we lost many face-to-face meetings. We lost um, many good connections. We no longer visit universities, clubs. We no longer meet our friends on a usual base. And in addition to that, many minorities around the world face the problem of not finding a good community, especially in high technically subjects like quantum computing, nanotechnology, physics, math, and so forth. So it's really a great and enjoyable experience that um, network or virtual meetings enable people from all over the world to meet each other, even though they had no physical contact before. And our goal here is for people to get to know each other socially, on social aspect. So it's not just a Q&A like Stack Overflow, where some random person posts her or his answer to your question. It's not Reddit, where you just have some discussion with random people. No, our goal here is to meet new people, to get to know them more socially and make new friends. So let me, of course, we are very honored to have Dr. Sarah Kaiser. She's very, very generous with her time that she is attending and giving us her precious time. So let me welcome her. And so before proceeding, let's just introduce each other. For me, I'm Mustafa Touni, an undergrad student in software engineering, interested in theoretical computer science. Currently, I'm a senior student, my fourth year. This is my last semester. I will be graduating upon about 3 months. I'm interested in quantum computing, but from theory perspective, computation and complexity theory, algorithms, quantum supremacy, and so forth. For me, quantum computing sheds totally new lights on theoretical computer science, as for the first time, computer scientists started to think of computation in terms of physics. I find that so curious, and certainly it will open up and establish new pathways no one imagined before. People usually speak about quantum machine learning, quantum optimization, quantum cryptography, but for me, the first real application of quantum computing is so far unknown. The future will hold big surprises no one is aware of. So, who knows? Okay, now let me redirect the mic to Dr. Sarah Kaiser. So, please introduce yourself briefly to us.
Yeah. Hey, everybody. Um, yeah, I did my PhD in quantum computing a while back now. Did a postdoc, and now I'm actually working in quantum open source at the Unitary Fund. So we're actually a nonprofit, which I think having a nonprofit in quantum is actually pretty cool. But yeah, we actually work on kind of a lot of the same things and themes that were mentioned earlier about kind of fostering. I think our mission statement is trying to make the quantum ecosystem open to all. So um, we do micro grants, we do all kinds of cool stuff. But yeah, my research was in quantum key distribution because similarly, I thought quantum computers were a very long time out and wanted to do something that I felt like was slightly more practical. But I, for my research, ended up doing a lot of melting things with high-powered lasers. So if you ever want to talk about lasers or burning things, I'm your gal. But yeah, other than that, I do a lot of Twitch streaming of live, like live coding, different quantum algorithms and programs and tech stack stuff. So that's mostly what I do.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm not sure how people are ordered here in Discord, but I will just follow the order presented to me. So let's go for Anand. Please present or introduce yourself very briefly.
I'm so sorry, Dr. Sarah, because I really didn't, I just joined the Unitary Fund server like yesterday, and when I actually went through that, so I saw you over there. So hi, thank you for joining. Okay, so is there a lot of disturbance from my side? Hello?
For me, your sound is very clear.
Yeah, okay, fine. That's perfect. Okay. So hi everyone. I'm Anant. I'm a first year undergraduate from India. I am currently pursuing. I'll be majoring in physics, and I'll probably do a double major in a subject that I'll find more interesting along the way. So I started my quantum computing journey, I guess, 10 months ago now, right after my high school. So right now I'm really not that familiar with everything. I just know the basics of everything, like what's this, what's this, what's this. So I really need to get into detail and pick a particular path or pick a particular thing that I really like to do. So right now I'm just exploring things. I personally find quantum hardware very interesting. I really like the concepts and the complete experimental setup that's required. I really enjoy reading about those. So yeah, that's one thing. Apart from that, I like to code. So I code a lot. I not a lot. I mean, I try and make websites. I am a front-end web developer. So that's to it. And I like to play games. I mean, in general, games, which I suck at, by the way. Okay, play really bad. I play very bad. So yeah, that's what you guys.
What's your go-to game right now?
I actually started with Valorant quite recently. But then that's the same. Okay, I start a game, I really play bad, and then I quit it, and I install some other game when I'm playing that. So I guess I was just a month ago I was playing Apex Legend, and I was like, no, this is also bad. So yeah,
Yeah, I'm not really good at the team shooter online stuff, but I also like to play a lot of games. Right now, I'm playing Near Replicant, the remake.
yeah, yeah. Mm.
Okay, so thank you, Anand. And finally, Ishmamsha. Sorry if I didn't get your.
Hello. Yeah. No, it's
So,
fine. Fine. Can you hear me?
yes, how is it pronounced?
So it's pronounced Ishmam.
Okay, Ishmam. Okay, go ahead.
Ishmam.
Introduce us yourself very briefly.
Okay, thanks. Hello, everyone. I am Shah Ishmam, and I'm a senior year undergrad from Bangladesh. I currently am studying in Dhaka University, majoring in chemistry with minors in physics and maths. And so basically, my quantum computing journey started about 6 to 7 months ago with the last WizKid Global Summer School. Before that, I didn't even hear of the word quantum computing. That was an eye-opener experience for me, and I'm glad that I attended that because like I didn't understand a lot of things then because it was very condensed. The WizKid Global Summer School, but it opened the door for me. So after that, I started doing hackathons, and I did quite well in a few of them. And after every hackathon, it me and I met some friends through the hackathon, and we are pretty serious about them as well. Like we literally like obsessed. Like I wouldn't say obsessed is the right word, but like we were very passionate about it. We tried to solve problems because we found it interesting and found it exciting. And even after the hackathon ended, and even if it didn't rank well, we still went over the problems to see where we went wrong and what more things we could have. So I think it's a good the current ecosystem that computing community has is pretty good, because you always have something every month, right? There some seminar or either some hackathon, or you can there are like Slack channels, or even this group as well. Like you can talk to other people and learn more stuff and ask for help. So that's what I love about quantum computing. And to be honest, this is one of the I joined the quantum computing community, or like I pursued it because I found the subject interesting. But after finding this community, like not only this but all the other communities available, I was so like like I felt so welcome there that my passion for quantum community like quantum computing is by thousandfolds. So basically so this is like my story so far. I did QC hack and I did Q hack as well. So currently I'm now doing Quiskit Europe hackathon. So we are in the top 20 our project. So we are still working on that. Our project is Glassy Dynamics using quantum computing. So let's see what happens. We are trying to solve with a few of my friends. And so, and as for games, I Apex Legends. So Anant, if you want to play, just knock me. I guess we can have, and if anyone else as well want to play, just knock me. And we play like weekly, like we are 3 or 4 days per week. So that's
Yeah, if
basically.
you want that meet with long your team, so I can join up. Okay, I won't really make a difference.
Awesome. No worries. No. Yeah. It's just to have a good time. Games is just to have a good time, right?
Yeah, that's
Yes,
what.
yes. Okay, so let me tell all of you that we share the same goals. We hope for those who are still exploring the arena of quantum computing, still not aware how to navigate it. A central goal of this community is for people to exchange different perspectives together. And of course, we are very lucky to have the Coursera's experience with us. So I'm sure she will be very helpful, and I'm sure she will be very generous, giving us guidances and advices from her experience. So that's really great. And I'm sure she will be interested also, as she written in the forum, to know more about what people are interested in terms of the learning materials they need. And also, as Ishmael mentioned, yes, we do really like how quantum computing communities are building up. We hope to support each other and learn from each other. Okay, so, well, basically my experience in joining communities wasn't that perfect. Well, it's not that optimal. I joined multiple of communities which were very ambitious, but usually, not usually, always, people do have different goals. People do have different approaches, different ways of tackling the same problem, different philosophies of solving or working out some situation, and it's really, really very difficult to gather all people around the same vision or the same goal. Really, really difficult, I must admit it. And for me, it's not a bad thing at all. In fact, I believe diversity is a central key to innovation. So please, 100% you will find different people here. 100%, not everyone will be sharing 100% of your goals. People will be different in how they approach the problem, how they envision the solution to work out some situation. So please do not consider that as a con, but try to exchange perspectives, try to listen to others, try to wear others' shoes and see the world from their lens. I personally believe that's a central way and that's a crucial way to learn, by interaction from other members. Personally speaking, during my self-study, I had fallen into multiple mistakes. Multiple mistakes, like reading inaccessible materials without solving problems, approaching the literature without working out math foundations, and so forth. The list goes on and on. But had I been in around some community, had I listened to others who are more experienced than me, certainly I wouldn't have fallen into these mistakes. So that's the importance of listening to others, not to be stubborn on your own viewpoint. So now let me ask you, since this is a collaborative community, what is your experience in joining communities, and what is something notable you find in them? Did you find them useful or not, and why? Let me begin with Dr. Sarah.
Sure. Yeah, I honestly, especially when I was in grad school, didn't really find any communities that I felt like I could be a part of. I can elaborate more on at a later date, but basically, I had most of my research stolen in grad school. I had to switch supervisors. I was stalked and assaulted and stuff. So like, I really didn't feel like I belonged in any part of the academic experience. And so I actually do have a lot of experience now in building communities kind of independent of the academic system to, really make places, like this where, folks can feel included and importantly safe, which, is, I think, pretty important. I think the biggest thing that's usually important to me when I join a community is a code of conduct. I refuse to talk or attend generally anything that doesn't have a code of conduct. Um, you'd be surprised how many times one has to appeal to this, but both having the code of conduct and having, like, if you're the maintainer of a community, having a plan when you get a report of exactly, how you're going to handle it really helps, like, reduce the stress when something does happen. Um, because you have a plan. So, like, you can go through the steps and these people are going to handle it, and, how are you going to do communication, and yeah. So it's that I think is like the priority zero thing when you're making or joining communities that you should look for or make sure you have.
Okay, I've just noted your feedback, and immediately after the meeting, I will make sure to establish some code of conduct and how different cases are going to be handled. Thank you for your feedback. Okay, so through your experience in academia, I believe, universities always try to establish communities among students. Universities always try to enable students to support each other and work with each other. So does it work? If not, why? And if yes, what do you think? What was the key element to success?
Is that to me or generally?
Yes, to you specifically, since your
Okay.
experience in academia.
Fair enough. I would say honestly, university arranged things almost never work, because very frequently either they'll set it up, but they won't give you the resources to succeed because budgets are tight and whatnot. Like, I ended up starting a group at my university with in kind of collaboration with some undergrads called FemFizz, and we basically found external companies to fund us. Like, we went to local businesses, and this was in Canada, so there was like some tech companies in town, and we're like, do you want to throw us some money for pizza? Like, because we just really weren't getting the support we needed from the university. So I think, that is one takeaway. Like, if the university isn't being entirely helpful, then you have option, like, especially in an emerging tech field like this, like, just ping some of the startups and say, hey, we'd really, and usually there's like many things that give and take, so maybe they get to come give a talk or something like that. But honestly, that's a win-win. So but yeah, like, I'm trying to think of instances where university, I think honestly grassroots things organized by students generally tend to be the most successful. So if it starts from students and then, you can get support from the university, great. But usually things like required or mandated don't really pan out. Professional societies can also work. So, if you've heard of, like, so I was in quantum optics, so the Optical Society of America is a big professional society, ironically for the world, despite being called that. There's IEEE, which is like the electrical engineering, but they have a huge presence in quantum. They have a whole quantum working group. So that can be another way to find communities specifically oriented around like professional development and stuff. So they're the ones that run some of the biggest conferences in the field and stuff like that. So, and often have a lot of good grants, especially for making your own communities and stuff. So, you know, definitely check out the relevant ones for what you're working on.
Okay, thank you so much. It is really much appreciated. Let me just go for one last question, one very curious question. Okay, so since you are already experienced in academia and you have all these connections with professional organizations, universities, startups, and so forth, what motivates you to join online or virtual communities like this one, which are usually not funded, not supported by some big organization, not much recognized? So what motivates you, especially for such communities, to get enrolled in?
Yeah, I mean, kind of as I alluded to before, I think groups like this, you know, and other what I'll call grassroots organizations that, you know, are not supported by a big company or not supported, you know, in any official sense, are where there's the most potential for change. You know, people can very often, you know, I even like the organization that you've put together so far of like these are all the different platforms. Here's how we're gonna handle things. Here's how we're gonna kind of democratically schedule things. Like, you know, there's a lot of flexibility that these groups have that, you know, bureaucracy can be good sometimes because it means you can get really big things done. But, you know, like where I work currently at the Unitary Fund, we have 2 full-time people. We have like a couple on and off again part-time people. And, you know, I think we're still doing like really big, incredible stuff, but like we our meetings are like me and Nathan. So like yeah, there's a lot of flexibility. Like you can be really responsive to the community. You can really you're not as bound by kind of traditional architectures and importantly can also kind of choose to set standards for, you know, how you want to treat your community members and how your community members should treat each other. And I think, you know, as we've seen in many different global contexts right now, you know, whether it be politics or whatever, there's a lot of toxic shit going on. And, you know, by creating our own communities and spaces, we can kind of choose to say, we're not going to do that here. That's not welcome. We respect each other and we're all humans in this together. So yeah, that's why, you know, why I'm motivated to join a lot of these groups, you know, to kind of gather feedback and stuff, and just I do a lot of mentoring and stuff in general as well. So yeah, please feel free to ask me random questions. You can either send me a DM or I'm obviously also on the Unitary Fund Discord too. So there's some like help me channels and stuff there if, you know, if you want to ask like the whole team questions and stuff like that.
Yes, certainly we will do that. Thank you so much. So it's really motivating to have Dr. Sarah Kaiser, who believes in the potential of these small groups, which are more flexible. Even though she is connected with professional organizations, well-supported, well-recognized startups, and other organizations in quantum computing. So it's really a huge honor, and we are really to have you, Dr. Sarah Kaiser. No, really, that belief in our potential is a key element to building trust among members is a key element in our success. So thank you so much. Okay, so 2 new members have just joined our conversation, and I'm sure the number will steadily be growing up. We have Harshit Gupta and Kipamyo. Sorry for if I got the pronunciation incorrectly. We will get back to both of you. I'm not sure how Discord orders people here, but I will just follow the order presented to me. Okay, so Anant, tell us about your experience in joining communities. Does it work? If yes, what was the key element to their success? If not, why? And how do you think we should mitigate these problems? Go ahead.
Yeah, so I feel the what's this coding schools and Qubit by Qubit, the program which I joined for the first time. So I guess that was the first official thing where I met students, international students. Before that, I had exposure only to, people from my country. So from that, I basically joined the study group, and then, I started to get involved into more and more groups like this. So I personally found that every group has an area of expertise or has some individual who has an area of expertise which can help you a lot, which helps a lot. I guess I am myself into 5 or 6 different servers, which have various resources. Like if I have a problem, I am 100% sure that out of these 5 servers, one server can provide me with a solution, which can help me out, which can, sit me down and, give me a step-by-step solution, like you do this, you do this. And apart from that, resources and all of those things, they're just a bonus. So, and that's for everyone, okay? Everyone learns. And apart from that, quantum computing is such a thing, people are just excited about to learn. So it's not just people who are trying to make a career out of it or do a PhD or stuff. There's a lot of people who are, probably done with their career. They're like, I want to learn something new. So that's why they're doing quantum computing. That is the case. So you get to meet a lot of people, a lot of expertise, and people from various backgrounds, and that's, I guess, literally amazing, where everyone can learn and everyone enjoys themselves as well as learns. So yeah, that's. I feel these smaller communities do make a difference, a lot of difference actually. For me personally, they have affected me a lot.
Yes, and in fact, we share you the same goal. We wish members to interact more with each other, to get to know each other, even on the social aspect. As I said before, it's not just a Q&A like Stack Overflow where you receive some random answer from someone you had never met before. But no, we wish to build up a community of supportive friends here. So thank you so much, Anant. And yes, as you mentioned, we hope members to be as much interactive as possible. Okay, so let's go for Harshit Gupta. First of all, introduce us yourself. Then we will get to the second question.
Yeah, hello, Mustafa. Hello, Dr. Sarah. I'm Harshit, and I'm from India also. And I also got introduced to quantum through the amazing Qubit by Qubit program. And to answer Mustafa's question, well, communities are, I mean, they are the only thing through which I'm still motivated to actually learn quantum on my own. Because being in India, which is not so excited about quantum as of now, uh, it really helps to, get in contact with international people who share the same goal as you. So, to answer that question, so yeah, communities do play a major role. And actually, I have, I guess I've met Sarah in Slack, if she remembers. I mean, I asked a resource for QPE on Slack, and she was the one who responded. So, like, that's just one example of where a community like Slack or, Discord has, the quantum Discord, if I say, has helped me to, get one step closer to, learning quantum. So, yeah. So, communities, yeah, do it about it.
Okay, thank you, Gupta. And now let's go for Ishmam. Tell us about your experience in joining communities. Do they work? If not, why? And if yes, what was the key element success for that?
I won't say mostly, like it sometimes works. I don't know the exact ratio, but it does fail a lot, and I can like pinpoint the reason why it fails, but I haven't faced any like, I have faced abuse in university. Like I'm in my last year, and I almost like thought of dropping out or like leaving university when I was in second year because of like external pressure from like peer, even like the faculty as well. They were not welcoming because I try to do things, and they all like coming from like a third world like Bangladesh, where universities are something like a robot, like do what they say. Like you can't pursue independent projects, or like you can do anything that.
Did I lose people's audio?
No. I'm back here. Okay, so thank you all for your feedback. It's really very engaging to have this conversation with all attendees. And now let me discuss with you how this community is going to proceed. First of all, our goal is on the social aspect. We wish people to get introduced to each other. Like, for instance, what motivates you to
But
proceed?
Hello.
I'm sorry? Yes, what was
Can you
your
hear me
question?
now? No, I was stating, but it like quantum mental comment.
You're breaking up, Ishman.
I'm not sure, seemingly I just lost the connection. Did Jupta answer your question, Ishman?
No, I was just saying that his voice is breaking up from my end. So that would you do?
Okay, so Ishman, would you repeat your question? If there is a problem in your connection, you can type it in the chat.
Oh, I have no question. I have no question. I was just thinking why, like my experiences, like why it doesn't work. So like like some of them doesn't work after some point, because like some like if a majority of the like, people in the group lose their motivation for quantum computing, then it becomes that one of the reasons is that. Another reason is like the most common reason that I have found in most quantum computing communities, like quantum computing is a very field. I guess I don't know, but I guess it's pretty new. So a lot of people like pretends to know a lot of things, but they actually don't. So I think being honest is the main thing. So the quantum computing groups that I am still in and that I still enjoy are the ones where people are honest. Like they say exactly what they can do or they can do. If they don't know something that I have asked, they like honestly said, "No, I don't know, but I will do it, and then if I can, I will provide you some resources." But there are some groups where they pretend to know a lot of stuff, but actually don't. So those are the groups that I were in, and I I didn't have a good time there because everyone was very pretentious. So I think that's true for any field that has like recent hype. Like hype builds up, then people join out of hype, but they are not actually like truly passionate or willing to get into the rigorous part of the field. So that's my experience. So university-wise, very well. Quantum computing was mixed because I have had very good friends and I have good, very like Q Quantum Open Source Foundation QoS of monthly changes. Then my exactly replies to all the questions that I asked. Then I have met PhD students, and I'm still an undergrad, right? But I have met PhD students who are willing to answer my questions. So yeah, I have had mixed for quantum computing. But it's most.
Yes, thank you so much. I totally agree with you. Many people are just delving into computing without investing some time in the basics or the fundamentals. Many try to immediately get their hands on coding, but even have some background in linear algebra. Many enthusiasts try to read some research papers on quantum computing or try to reinterpret popular science media without having good foundations in math or quantum mechanics, and yeah, that's usually ineffective or unproductive. And as we mentioned, and let me stress again, that's the benefit of being around a supportive community, so that other people through their experience alarm you of the mistakes you are falling into. So thank you so much for addressing and stressing this point, Ishmam. Okay, let me, of course, if anyone has any additional feedback or any additional comment, I do totally welcome all of them. But for the time, let me return back to the point. So how is this community going to work out, or logistically, how are we going to proceed? So first of all, the goal here is on the social aspect of members to get to know each other. We will have meetings on a weekly basis. Some member will suggest a topic or a subject or a question, or you can even request some topic or some subject to be discussed. And we totally or specifically encourage discussions which invoke open-ended answers. For instance, like career alternatives, how do I get started on quantum computing? How do I learn quantum physics, but being motivated by quantum computing, considering that many textbooks and quantum mechanics might not support or might not be oriented specifically for quantum computing. Questions like, okay, what are the alternative job markets? What are the alternatives of academia? Questions like, how do I polish my mathematical maturity? How do I build up my CV or resume? You are also free to discuss some curious idea in quantum computing, like quantum cryptography. You might discuss what would be the first application of quantum computing. You might even discuss the currently available learning materials. You might discuss that we need more resources for students and high school students. So basically, there is no end for discussions. Our goal is to exchange perspectives and exchange your shoes or lens with other members. The main goal is to exchange ideas, learn from others' experience, and please, the goal here is not, you do not need to be an expert to engage in the community, but you need to be able to express yourself. You need to be able to listen to others. You need to be willing to admit mistakes you are falling into, and I'm the first one who falls into mistakes all the time. So that's the central requirement. And Dr. Sarah, I will be writing that in the code of conduct. Yes, I've noted it.
There are a lot of good templates for codes of conduct. Not saying that you shouldn't take a stab at writing your own, but especially if you just kind of want to see what normally ends, like what are in them. There are lots of great resources.
Yes, please share them with us. Okay, so each week you can pick up some, a member suggests a topic or curious idea. Even in terms of technical topics, you are free to do so, like quantum cryptography. You might discuss, is quantum computing overhyped, for instance? That's a very good discussion topic. You might discuss, is it early for governments to get prepared for quantum security? You might discuss, should governments invest more in theory research? That type of questions, which are usually somehow subjective, or somehow you might be able to taste others people's viewpoints, others people's vision of how they perceive the field, of how they learn. That type of questions or discussions are specifically what we aim for. You might even share your basically what you've learned the past week. What have you learned the past week? Why did you choose that subject? Why did you choose that material? Why do you favor tackling the problem you are selecting over others? Why do you favor tackling that approach over others? Personally speaking, I've been studying calculus the past week, and I do have very good reasons for studying calculus. motivated by quantum computing. So usually folks do not study calculus for quantum computing, maybe some linear algebra, but not calculus. So yes, we might discuss that, how important calculus and other math fields are for quantum computing, even though initially they might seem irrelevant. Initially, but they are, of course. So you might discuss that as well. Anant is asking, am I doing real analysis? Well, I picked up Spivak's book. It's an introduction to calculus, but more mathematically matured, even though it is usually taught to introductory real analysis courses. So somehow, I'm taking the first steps, but I won't say I mastered real analysis. I won't say that.
Yeah, I don't need a master, okay? I just need to pass my class, okay? I literally am going to flunk out this one, okay? Real analysis is just getting above my head, okay? First of all, it's online. On top of that, it's really tough. I
Yes,
am
we
really
can.
having a hard time.
Yes, that's an excellent discussion topic. How do you come up mathematical maturity, or how do you build up your mathematical maturity? So yes, we do totally encourage members to tell us more about themselves, what they have been studying, why they selected that subject specifically over the other, what problems or what they do struggle in while studying a technical field like quantum computing, what mistakes they have fallen into previously, and they wish to communicate their advices to other members. Yes, there's really a very broad spectrum or a very broad area for members to discuss with each other. But at the end, our goal is to get introduced to each other, learn more about each other, and exchange perspectives. Okay, so how are we going to do that? At each week, some member will request or suggest some subject. She or he will host that discussion, and she or he is supposed to enroll or engage all members within the discussion. And the same I did for now. So our discussion for today was introduce yourself, the community's work out, why or why not, what is special about virtual meetings here, how this community is supposedly to proceed. And I try to engage all the attendees. I try to gain all of your feedback, and all of them are of course considered. So we will follow that same pattern. Some host will organize the meeting, giving a chance to all attendees to participate and give the feedback. Okay, now I've set some vision or some goals or some logistical procedure. I'm sure all of you, I'm 100% sure all of you have other ideas or have some concerns or have new suggestions of how this community is supposed to work. So let me begin with Dr. Saab. Yes, give us your feedback.
Sorry, I do have to go here shortly because I have an 8:45 meeting. But I think the one thing I would possibly challenge from the discussion before is I don't think there are as strong requirements that you have to study physics or you have to study certain subjects to participate here. One of the things I work really hard to do and have literally written a textbook about is how to learn quantum computing from programming. So like if you just start basically with programming knowledge, you can, just like you pick up and learn a new Python package, you can read the docs and learn how to do it. I think I've seen it happen. You can learn quantum computing basically by having a tool. Like that was why I started in quantum computing in the first place, was because I liked calculus, but I didn't want to do the integrals. I learned that quantum computing was pretty much all matrices, and I knew how to program a computer to do those for me. So, there are a lot of tools out there that, help. Certainly, if you want to continue and you're doing research, yes, learning those things is helpful, but I don't think they're necessarily a prerequisite.
Okay, that's a great feedback. And secondly, we should listen more how to get started in quantum computing through programming.
Yeah. Cool. Sorry, I gotta go, but thanks for organizing this, and yeah, I'll see you on Discord. Bye.
Thank you so much.
Hi, Sarah. Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye. Thank you.
Okay, so Anand, what is your feedback on the community? Do you have better ideas in organizing it?
Well, to be honest, Mustafa, I was thinking that the weekdays may be a bit busy because we actually don't see a lot of audience right now. So, should we actually just post it for the Sunday meeting only? Or given that today's audience, that's why I was suggesting, if that's okay.
Okay, and what about you, Anand?
Actually, I cannot, make a full-fledged commitment, because I sometimes have a important commitment which comes up at the very last. It's not like it's on the very last moment, but it's like I have to prioritize it. So sometimes, even if I say a yes to a specific date, like today, I was lucky that, I just opened my Discord server and I saw your message. It's in 30 minutes, so I could just join in easily. But generally during this time, I have a classroom sort of thing where I am basically discussing. So yes, for me, the most appropriate time would be any time on Saturdays and Sundays. Weekdays are kind of packed, but yeah, perfect. Totally fine if it's not. I'll make time and join. I hope I make time and I join.
Yes, you can write that in our general Discord chat channel. Please don't be afraid to share your feedback with us. Okay, finally, Ishmam, go ahead. What do you think of this committee's organization? Do you have better ideas or concerns on how we should organize this?
Hello, can't hear you. Like I think the line went dead for a few seconds.
Okay, is my voice heard?
Now it's there. Now it's clear.
Oh, okay. So, what is your feedback on this community? Do you have concerns on or new ideas on how we should organize?
No. As of now, I'm fine with how things are going and how you guys are like proceeding with this. So yeah, it's cool, pretty cool. Yeah, I found it. Yeah.
Okay, so Joseph, what was your concern again that members won't be active?
Like I was also just suggesting that the meetings, should be held mostly on Saturdays or Sundays. That's what I was saying.
Okay,
Yeah, the
please.
weekday may be dicey for some people, so that's
Okay, please post that on general chat in our
okay.
Discord for your suitable times. And Anand, the same. Please post your feedback. Don't be afraid.
Yeah.
We do really care about everyone's feedback here. We wish everyone to contribute to this community, and this community won't build up unless everyone contributed his or her feedback. Okay, so thank you all for joining. We will have another meeting Thursday, which will follow exactly the same approach of this meeting. You are free. Of course, we welcome everyone. It's optional for you. But it will follow the same approach, exactly the same questions of this meeting. For the next week, I will be updating you with suggested ideas to be discussed. And of course, if you have any suggested question, any curious idea, any curious question, any curious advice, some mistake you had fallen into and you wish to alarm others of it, please share it with us. We can organize a meeting specifically for you, and you will be the one hosting it. So thank you all for joining.
Thanks, Tony. Bye. Bye, guys.
By community
Bye, everyone.